Okay. So just record everything in there, just crowd, yeah, don't be bad, you know they're gonna win it. Hey, all right there. Yeah. Let me know.
I do rap. Yeah, I used to hoop. He called you. Huh? Did you hit the triple-double game winner or did you travel on the game? You hit the triple-double. I got you. Anyway, what are you doing now, brother?
You're broadcasting right here.
Hey, that's right. You broadcasting. I got a radio show. Right there. I got two shows. Right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway. Hey, look at my sports show. You do Metro Sports Weekly too. That you should come over. Not to you. Hit me up. Daniel's got my G-Money's got my information. I'll forget. I mean, I'll sit here and I'll say yeah, then I'll forget.
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna remember that. But so just hit me up when you get a chance. Yeah, come on, Metro Sports Weekly. We'll talk about the transition from playing basketball to now broadcasting. Okay? Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Broken down, living life on a merry-go-round. You can't find me.
Music, not up. One, two. All right, I got you. Yep, there we
getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like you like
One, two. And we hear you, Tony B. Yep. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Okay. All right. How you doing? What's your name? I'm sorry. Your name? Your name? Oh, Dupree. Dupree, man. It's a mask, man. It's a mask. I'm like that. Adam. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah, I'm blessed. All right. You good? Yeah, so Barbados. Yeah, she's Delta. She's speaking today too, so we ride. Yeah. Absolutely, it's a blessing to see you. We ride, man. Go, Mom. Go, Mom. What's the business? How you doing? I was like, yo, we boys show up. We gonna be here. It's good to see you. I like with the strongest one. With the strongest one. We used to be down here. I don't have no Yeah, I got one. It's starting. Yeah. Does this have all three of us? When I get it focused round, I should lose back down to the brown, to the
Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio's coverage of the Martin Luther King Rally and March, the 40th annual. I'm Tony B. I'm here with Mr. Rick Dupree.
All right, welcome. We are here live. 40th year, my goodness.
40th year. And Bree Scott. Hey, Bree.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's not, I don't think it's too cold out here today. It could be worse.
Oh, it could be a lot more.
It could be worse. I know that for me, this iconic celebration is always wonderful to take part of. We've been doing this now, Rick, for 7 years, I think, 6 or 7 years. And it's always given us an opportunity to talk to some of the folks in our community who built bridges, who built the pathways, who, again, the shoulders that we stand on for this broadcast and Dr. legacy.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, it's so wonderful that y'all continue to honor his legacy. We talk about the legacy of service, the legacy of, you know, if you see a need, go fill it. Go be active. And so that's what today is all about. Often hear people say it's not a day off. You know, it's a day off for service. And so we are here recognizing and honoring the legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
But Bree, how does it feel to be behind the microphone this time at this event? I'm going to put this up a little closer to you. There we go.
It's fun. It feels good to be behind the scenes today.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us about for you. Dr. King's life and legacy, being here today in midst of everything that's going on, what does it mean to you?
You know what? I've been reflecting on Dr. King. Can you guys hear me?
You know what?
If you hold that,
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Trying to see if you have it.
Huh?
Oh, it's on the wrong side.
Is it on the wrong side?
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh, I'm a righty. I'm right-handed, baby, so I always put it on the right side. You know what? I just been reflecting on Dr. King and his legacy, and I think that we take that dream for granted. Like, yes, we're here for service, but he also taught us to dream and dream big and to organize and to know that we need to be community. So that's what I've been reflecting on, and I want everybody out there to focus on. It's about the dream. It's about organizing and making changes.
And our voting rights are potentially being taken away from us. Slowly, not even slowly. Not even slowly. Our voting rights are being taken away from us. If folks don't be aware of what's going on, we could be reverting back to times that we fought very hard and long for to make advantage.
Yeah. When we hear senators and Congress people talk about the fact that there's no longer a need for it, the Voting Rights Act was implemented because of discrimination, because some people completely able to vote, and so it is the Voting Rights Act under assault. It is not just subtle. It is front and center. And there's hundreds of bills being passed to restrict the voting rights, and that's something that we have to fight for. But he said it very well. And, Dr. King talked about dream, and most notably, most known for his "I Have a Dream" speech. It's so important.
Which actually, as we were talking about before, wasn't initially "I Have a Dream."
Exactly. Yeah. And he had been talking to Mahalia Jackson and others that knew about it, and his initial speech was kind of going not going necessarily well. And we wrote. If you listen to some of the tapes, says, "Tell him about the dream, Mark. Tell him about the dream." And then he shifts and he did the iconic speech, "I have a dream," and he did have a dream that we would have a place where there would not be injustice. And like you said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Yeah,
that's so important.
That, and people talk about the dream, and I admit that for me, it was, hey, Dr. King gave us the ability to dream, but then we have to do.
Yep.
You can think about it, you can dream about it, but the other part about that is you have to do something. You have to make it happen. And as I reflect back on that now, for a lot of us, we've actually lost the dream of what we can attain, of what we can do. And again, it's been systemic. The oppression that takes place, it never stops. So we have to be diligent when we're making sure that, again, voting rights, it's crazy that you would think that voting rights would be under attack again. You would think that a lot of the things that are taking place now from what would be supposed leadership in this country, definitely impacting and affecting the lives of black people, of brown people, and they're not even hiding it. We had an insurrection on the 6th.
Yeah, there you go. And they're not recognizing it as that. Many are trying to act like it did not happen, but it did. And an attack on our freedom, on our democracy, what so many black men and women gave their lives for.
Yes.
And that is under attack.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Well, it's good to be here today. Folks are starting to arrive. You know what? As you can see now with the camera, Johnny is taking a look at the crowd that is massing. Usually about 10,000, 12,000 people here. For those of you who can't make it today, don't worry. We got you. We're going to be covering the entire rally and the entire march as well. And remember, maybe it's okay to celebrate.
We're gonna have you all day.
Come on over here. Come on over here.
Get on the line.
Tell us, take a look at the camera. Tell us who you are and what brings you here today. Okay. I didn't recognize you with the mask on.
I'm the vice president of the Ricky.
Well, man, tell us about. Again, we were just reflecting on the life and legacy of Dr. King and talking about, again, voting rights being under attack and losing so many things that we fought so hard for. for you being here today, what does the life and legacy of Dr. King mean?
That's a loaded question. And as a Baptist preacher, I can give no patience in my answer.
Okay.
Annually and daily, we should celebrate the legacy of Dr. King. The initial answer is, I like Ricky and all of us here. I'm just grabbing the background of justice, freedom. But the genius of Dr. King is, as a minister, his life work is a practical application of applying redemption principles in the practical application. And that journey is never over. The opus of his work was the clarion call on the national monument for call the consciousness of his nation to live up to the creed. Because the God of the clerk actually can apply justice to roll like and right like a mighty stream. And yet, the founding document of our country is not divine. But the divine hand can bring it about. So our goal is to do our part to make this a more perfect union. For those of us who are believers, actually see how the abstract can be applied. And that's the power is not in us doing it all. In us, it's faithful to bring it about. So that God is
all right. And and that's we say radio because it's too confusing to say the Rainier Avenue Radio Broadcast Media Network. So we just say radio. We just say radio. And I see a brother from Alpha Phi Alpha over here, Kappa Alpha Psi, and then you got a Phi Beta Sigma right here, and I see some of my brothers running around. And this is an thank you. Good having you stop by. Yeah, we want you to do it. Yeah. So tell us about your church for those who may be watching right now and where they can find you. Go ahead and just, I call it shameless self-promotion. Okay. Well, I'm asking you.
We're on 148 Highway. We've been there since 1933. We're just a group of people who met God at the intersection of life and faith, and we actually serve. We actually live those principles out. We're not flawless, but we try to be faithful.
Okay.
That's it.
Reverend Parker, thank you, man.
All at your boy. Rick, I love all you guys. I'll keep doing your thing.
All right, come here. Rick Bree, how you gonna follow that?
Hey, you don't. Well, something Reverend Parker said, I think is important. He talked about taking, this dream and really applying it, and that's what we're talking about. How do we apply these principles and live by these to make this world a better place? And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's interesting that we have different generations here and hearing from different people and getting their sense of, what this day is all about. And it's more than just a day, more than just recognizing an individual. But again, what are those principles he's talking about and how do we make this world a better place? Right. That's so important.
And I like how he mentioned it's not about us if we can do it. It's about operating in that faith and then everything will happen.
Yeah.
So just taking that step and that leap and going and doing it.
Yeah. And it's so important. And that's the thing. I mean, y'all work with students a lot and tell them that you as an individual can make a difference. So often we think, I can't do anything. It's just me. Why should I go out and do anything? But you know what? You as an individual can. And then when we come together collectively, oh my goodness, what we can do together with one vision and one purpose. And that's so important. And especially in a day and age when, as we talked about earlier, our democracy, our values are all under attack. And people trying to tear away what men and women have spent decades and centuries fighting for, giving their lives for, and we're seeing all of that torn away. And that's a scary thing, and all for, a vote. People want to be in office, want to have power, and unfortunately, that's their focus instead of doing what's right. So if you are joining us, you are listening to us live at Garfield High School. We're outside of the Quincy Jones Performance Center, and we are here at the 40th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day rally and the march. I'm Rick Dupree. This is Bree. We got Tony B over there, and Tony's got the wireless mic, and he's going to be grabbing folks and be talking with them, and we're going to be here. The program should be getting started shortly on the main stage, and it'll go for an hour and a half, and then we will go into the march. Right now, I'm going to throw it back over to Tony B. He's got a couple of special guests that he's going to talk to you. Tony, go ahead and take it away.
All right, come on, KL, come on over here. I'm with Keynote Shannon right now. Tell everybody the title that you do so many things for this event, but officially your title is?
My official title today is I'm the MLK Logistics Chair and part of the TAC team.
Let's talk about, or actually you talk about, what it takes to put an event like this together, and then the history involved with it, and just every year keep this thing running.
It takes a lot to put this event together. It takes a lot of work, a lot of hours into this, to do this. We have so many different committees, programs, logistics, fundraising, food, outreach, so many. And this has been something that's been going, this is our 40th year. This is our 40th year, and it's really intergenerational. And I think what's so exciting about it is that we have more young people that are involved with this event. From our chair to our vice chair, that are doing a lot of this work. But it takes a lot of work to do, and we really encourage more folks to get involved with this committee, and we really want to just keep it going. That's why it was so important that that we are here today, that we are doing this today. This is an institutional community event, and we're just excited that so many people are out today, with all that is going on with the different viruses. So thank you for being out here.
Thank you for keeping this mission going. We appreciate you. I know it's hard out here, but you continue to fight. I see you all the time in the community. So thank you. Thank you for creating that space.
Thank you. Community is important. And, I love my people. I love us.
Yes, me
I
too.
love us.
You carry this torch for a long time, and you're seeing a younger generation.
Well, number one, why do you think the younger people are starting to get more and more involved? And that's got to make you feel good about seeing that younger generation here.
The young people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. I mean, they see what is happening around this country, and they're like, I gotta get involved. I mean, so many young people were involved with the George Floyd protests around the country, and it was just so beautiful to see the emergence of so many young people in leadership. So I'm embracing this. I'm embracing this, and it just makes me so happy to see so many.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go to the stage now as we're getting started. So, Mr. Bellis, if you want to take us to the stage, we'll be back to you.
Madreen White from the Muckleshoot Tribe.
Give it up for her. Come on.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Madreen White. Taratu Madreen White Singska Muckleshoot Abchud. I'm a member of the Muckleshoot Indian tribe, and I'm here today with my son, Mrs. Duke White, another generation of people from this area. So for those of you who may not know much about Muckleshoot, our reservation is located in Auburn, Washington. However, our people are descendants of the Duwamish and the Upper Puyallup villages that inhabited this area and that governed, that hunted, gathered, within not just the Puget Sound, but all the way out toward the mountains as well. So we had a very large area. A lot of people think that we were just on a little piece of land out in Auburn, and that's not true. So I want to say thank you to everyone that's here today for this engagement, for this opportunity to partner with our friends here at the Martin Luther King Committee and celebration. I just want to say to each and every one of you that made today possible, I want to raise my hands to you in gratitude and thank you for the hard work and the time and the commitment that you have, not just to this particular event, but to outreach opportunities, to educational opportunities throughout the whole year. And with that, I want to say thank you for listening to me. And if you would like to learn more about Muckleshoot, please visit our website where you can learn more about our contributions to the region, to culture, to community at wearemuckleshoot.org and theroadtowamish.org. And with that, I'll turn it back over for the real reason that we're here to celebrate Martin Luther King and the legacy. So with that, thank you all. Have a great day and stay well and take care of each other.
Good morning. I am Dr. Terrence Hart, the principal here at Garfield High School. On behalf of the Garfield community, we welcome you to the campus. Given the history of activism here at Garfield, it is a great honor for us to be celebrating the life and work of Dr. King. Also, whenever I'm speaking to a crowd, especially a crowd who is centered here in the Central District, I want to talk about what we're going through here at Garfield. As you know, the country, the world, our students, our teachers have been through a tremendous amount over the last 2 years. And we see the results of that. Students have been without supports for a year and a half while they were sitting at home trying to have education, trying to have school. And we see that across the country, violence in school is up, discipline referrals in schools are up. These are real issues that we are facing on a daily basis. And we need your support. You know, often I'm asked, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about these issues? No, I stop whoever I'm speaking with and say, no, what are we going to do about these issues? These are issues. The school is a reflection of the community. The schools are a reflection of the communities that they serve. We need you. We need you. We need your support. We need you to engage with our students. We need you to mentor. We need you to go into neighborhoods where students are facing struggles and challenges, and those challenges come with them to school. Some of our students are traumatized. So we need you. There's this much work that we can do here at Garfield to improve. We know we can improve the quality of instruction. We know we can improve how we are engaging families of color, particularly Black families. So there's much work that we can do, but we have to do it in conjunction, in partnership with the community. How that looks, what that looks like, we can discuss that. We can collaborate, but we need your support. Thank you. Let's celebrate the legacy of Dr. King.
And it is good to be with you all one more time. Hey, my name is Reverend Derek Harris, and I have the honor to pray. Won't you join me in prayer on this morning? Gracious God and eternal God, whose compassion and might are beyond our comprehension and imagination. And yet we are blessed to experience that grace, that presence every day. Holy God, we confess our faults and our failure to love. We have failed to love with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our soul and strength. And we have failed to love one another as you has loved us. As a people called to grace through faith, we have neglected your call to the beloved community of mutuality. When we have been called to love one another, we have answered by loving our own interests and our own desires have mercy on us, O God. Holy Spirit, we confess our faults and our failures. In our highest offices and in our hallowed halls, the privileged shout peace where there is none, and a return to normalcy of a pre-pandemic world when normal was no less death dealing to the hopes and dreams of the exploited, the marginalized, and disinherited. Have mercy on us, oh God. Oh God, we confess our faults and our failures today. So as we examine ourselves in the systems that we have created, that we have inherited, and then better yet have internalized, we ask for your forgiveness today. Forgive us of what we have done and what we have failed to do. Forgive us of what we could have said but failed to speak. And forgive us of what we could have been but failed to be. And oh Lord, we ask that your presence would be with us on this day, and that you would give us a mind and a vision for your purposes and for your wills. It is in that spirit that we pray. The spirit of that Palestinian Jew from the ghettos of Nazareth, with everything that he owned was borrowed, the one that I call the Christ. I pray this prayer. Be with us in all the ways that we need and desire. Amen. Amen. At this time, we will have the singing of the African national or the Black national anthem by Rainier Avenue.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the hope that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you.
All right, y'all, let's give it up for all the people that have spoken their truths. Okay, I'd like to read y'all something. Ceremonial master on the mic, trying to keep the balance between black and white, between wrong and right. Speaking to all without creating sides, because the only two sides are lies and truth. Planting seeds with the faith that they will bear fruit in your mind, creating gardens of all kinds. Not to say I'm colorblind, because life for the black is a different kind of grind. It's more like once you realize everyone wants to be seen and heard. Word. But the ability to see requires empathy, which one cannot have if you are greedy. So I ask, please think, reflect. Who are you when no one is around? Who are you when it's people that surround? Make sure to check yourself, but most of all, love and respect yourself. Maybe once we get it, we will have peace. So till then, run to the streets, for we are free. free to run, free to shout, free to love, free to speak all about our truth. And today, as is every day, thank the ones who have established our roots, the ancestors, thank the higher power. And through the earth's rain showers, for better or for worse, we can evolve negative ego and end this curse. Love.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Hey, coming to the stage, we have an amazing speaker that is on her way. Hey, I am so excited of these words that you are soon to hear. Won't you welcome the one and only Keisha Credit? Make some noise.
Thanks, Derek. Woo. All right. How y'all doing? Y'all are hella low energy for me. So how are y'all doing? All right. How many of y'all went to Garfield real quick? Can anybody raise their hand? All right, real quick. YELL Bulldogs, yell. All right, one of y'all knew. Okay. This is honorable for me to be here because I went to this school in 2008. I graduated from Garfield High School. So I'm excited to be up here with you guys. My name is Keisha Credit. I'm an entrepreneur, a 5-time CEO, and everyone made sure that I had to say I was a self-made millionaire, which I don't normally say, but in the spirit of today, I have to say that out loud on the mic. So, thank you guys. So, education. I went to Garfield High School and I was an AP student, and I realized that there was a huge disparity between the two sides of the school. If you're not familiar with the way that education works, either you're ruled out, you're pushed up, or you're kept in the middle. And a lot of times when you're kept in the middle or you're pushed to one of the sides, they put you on a path and they say that this is the path that you're supposed to choose. However, I decided to choose a different path. I stayed on their path, and that path wasn't very fun. And when I got to University of Washington, you're supposed to stay on the path, do all the stuff, do all the activities. And then there's this thing called entrepreneurship. And a lot of times people say, it's hard and everyone wants to start their own business. Well, you guys, I was in Forbes magazine for creating a 7-figure business making wigs. You guys, I went to school for communication. And all of a sudden, this little Black girl talent of doing hair came back around and landed me in Forbes. That was not what I went to this school for. That was not what I went to UW for. But that was a gift and talent that God had blessed me with that was able to open doors for me to be here talking to you guys. I started coaching entrepreneurs. I've now coached over 300 entrepreneurs on how to grow their businesses to 5 figures a month, 6 figures, etc., even 1 7-figure business. So they give you a path that's not necessarily the path that you have to take. I'm super honored because today's world, we're in COVID, right? School might shut down next week. That's a real fact. And we're worried about the future of our kids. We're worried about how do they miss 2 weeks of school and come back and be tested on information they couldn't be given if they don't have Wi-Fi at home. And then you tell kids that you have to be tested to go to college. Well, look, I'm here to plant the seed early. There are paths that are written for you, and there are paths that you can create. I'm here to encourage you guys to create your own path, to start early, to do things that people told you could not do. I almost had a 6-figure salary at Microsoft when I quit to make wigs. And I'm sure you could imagine coming home, right? You're 23 years old and you tell your family, hey, I just quit my great ass job that I worked, my whole life to get, and now I'm making wigs. Well, you guys, literally 8 years later, I was able to retire from that and move on to bigger things that create bigger and bigger blessings, right? And if I had listened to those voices, and there's thousands of voices that are going to tell you that unconventional path is a path that is unsure, maybe not. You're not going to make no money doing that. Listen, try it. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, you have to just try. He had a dream, and look at us. This is the dream. I'm the dream. Y'all are the dream. He is the dream, right? So as I stand here in front of Garfield High School that I caused a lot of havoc at. It is big that you guys are here marching for change, because these students nowadays need to see us. They need to see you. They need to know that, yo, I'm scared in school because I can't keep up because my family just had COVID or school's closed down and I don't even know how to use a computer or something like that, right? I'm here to encourage you guys that, look, these times are going to cause you to be agile. They're going to cause you to pivot, and you have to just figure out what your thing is. And if your thing is weird, listen, weird was a word that everybody calls me all the time. I'm fine with being weird. Be fine with being weird, because being the weird one, they're the ones who end up on the podium, okay? They're the ones who end up in Forbes, okay? Be the one who's able to say, you know what, I'm going to try something different, because this system that I'm given, this system that I have been bred into, this system that doesn't have any answers for me, because let's just be honest, no one has the answers today, right now, for what to do next in education. We're here to figure it out. We're here to advocate for it, but there is no clear answer. You have to be encouraged to make your own answer. Because in today's time, the answers that are given, we don't know the perspectives that they're coming from. There's bias in everything. Have everything with a critical eye. Look at everything with a critical eye. Don't believe just what you're told, because you don't know what perspective they're speaking it from. And parents and adults, you guys, if these kids come to you with some weird ass dreams, you just say, okay, so what's your plan? How you think about that? Let's really walk this through. Because you have no idea how those weird ass dreams will become Forbes, how the weird ass dreams that you have in here will become the next millionaire. You do not know. So try new things, be aggressive, question everything. Everything have a question. Everything have a question. You guys, my best friend will tell you, I question everything. I don't believe anything is true. Why, how, who said it, and what do they mean by that? You guys, there is nothing you cannot do. Absolutely nothing. Right now, I'm in the crazy process of renovating my grandmother's house that my family has owned since 1953. And I have learned how to do so many skills and things that I did not know I could accomplish. There is nothing you can do. You cannot do. There is nothing that is too hard. To become a carpenter, you guys, I had 6-inch nails when I was actually doing this carpentry work. But that is because I had the opportunity and the boldness to say, I don't care. You guys are telling me I have to look a certain way, I have to be a certain way to use this hammer and nails. Well, I'm going to show you how a girl with 6-inch nails comes and builds this house. And makes it happen. And it's that same tenacity that you have to be bold enough to say, I'm going to create a new path. You guys, the paths that they have written for you are not necessarily the only ways. And I encourage the adults that are here to just celebrate the youth. And it's not even just about youth, because you guys, I was 23 when I decided to take a different path. So you're never too young, you're never too old to just say, I'm going to be the one that's going to make a difference and be the image maker for my people in my community. And sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. You know, sometimes things happen and you just happen to naturally evolve. You never know where things are going to take you. You seriously don't ever know. You couldn't have told me when I was a cheerleader doing YELL in here that I would be out here talking about this. You never know. So, with all that, I want you guys to be safe today. I want you guys to dream today. You guys have an opportunity to be around other people that are already inspired. The first introduction is already done. We all know each other because we came to here with one like mind and one like mission, which is to move this world forward in a positive place, support each other, provide opportunities and resources for this world to be a better place. Because right now, I don't know how you guys wake up, but when I wake up, I'm a little nervous. And I worry about what is happening with our freaking future. How are we going to get through this as a community? How you get through this is you try new things and you try your hardest to stay positive through it, to encourage each other, open your hearts, open your love, spread your love with one another, and be supportive. Because now is when people are making new things, trying new things. Support those people, because those people are going to be the next ones on the move. we need some people of color in space too. I just want to drop that token real quick in case there's a little kid out here who wants to be an astronaut. Build the damn rocket. And that's it. Keisha Credit, bye, y'all.
Give it up, give it up.
Seattle zone. Gonna make some noise. You guys do better than that. How y'all feel? Hold on, wiggle it out. Couples, wiggle it out.
I know, let's get some jumps. Everybody jump. I said everybody jump. It's cold. Let me hear some sandpaper hands. I hear the sandpaper hands. Okay, it's cold. Warm it up. All right.
Hey, well, while you're doing the sandpaper hands, just go on and put them together, make some noise for who's coming next. We have Alex and Brittany coming out to give us their own rendition of Lean on Me. Come on and put those hands.
Let's give them energy. Come on.
How's everybody doing?
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show.
Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand.
We all need somebody to lean on.
I just might have a problem that you understand.
We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If you have love that you have to give, that you can carry, I'm right on the road. I'll show you love. If you just call me, just call me, just call me.
If you ever need
Just call me.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, I got you.
All right, y'all. Welcome to our next performer. We got Isaiah Anderson. Give it up, give it up.
Are you working for someone? Or you interviewing? Yeah, I'm in the broadcast. You know what?
Hey, how y'all doing?
So many.
Okay, now first thing, what up there for? All right. I'm not. I'm up here to speak on
I work for him right here.
theater. I'm here to speak on theater and art. How they are super necessary for young minds, for young souls. How many people out there interested in art? Right. How many of you are performing at this time right now? Whoa. That's deep. For a year.
I've already know it.
For 1 year. Then COVID. We were shut down. I want to let you know that theater is not an alternative to education. It's not an alternative to education. It is about education. Theater helps a young person who doesn't have the confidence to stand in front of a crowd. You get on stage, it helps you with that. Theater helps a young person who has an issue with reading because you got to do so much of it, you get comfortable with that. Theater is a way of doing something. It helps a young person move forward. We use these three terms: self-discipline, self-confidence, and self-motivation. And we try to get those three things in a child's life so that they can move forward. I own a theater now. I started doing theater when I was 14 years old. In Chicago, Illinois. I was able to get out in hands and be on stage, and there's something about a whole bunch of people applauding for you when you do something you like doing that make you feel like you just want to keep doing it. Right? And so then I get to Seattle, and I start performing. And I'm up at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Center. And I was like, whoa, this is nice, because I like when people clap for me. I like feeling good like that. And then we started a program called the Teen Summer Musical. The Teen Summer Musical. Let me tell you about this program, because a lot of people really don't know just what goes into it. This is a 10-week program over the summer where kids from the ages of 9 to 18 dedicate their entire summer, Monday through Friday and most Saturdays, 9 to 5. Rehearsing for a production. And then they take that production and we go downtown to a major theater, a major venue where these kids get to perform in front of thousands of people. And I can tell you right now that one of those young people who have ever been a part of that program has walked away with a confidence that you will never ever be able to take from them. They've walked away with knowledge of self that you will never, ever be able to take from them. Now, they told me I only had like 5 minutes to talk, but Sister Credit took 13 minutes. And so I'm down to a minute and a half. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. When you come up here, you gotta have fun. So I'm letting y'all know right now that this theater thing, like Sister Credit said, I want to be serious about what she said about the alternative. That don't let the system tell you the only way you can be successful is by following these steps. It's not. Theater is outside the box. There's nothing you can't do in theater. Nothing. If I tell you to come up here and be a rocker right now, you can do that in theater. If you black and I tell you to be white, you can do that in theater. Some of y'all trying it anyway, but another story.
another time. But theater does that. Theater frees you. It allows you to be free. It freed me. I am now one of the only individuals, along with my partner, Michelle Lang Raymond. We own a black theater. It's ours. We own a black theater called Acts on Stage. Acts on Stage. Look it up. Follow us. We getting it in. And we're allowing people and families and communities to understand that the arts is not just entertainment, right? We speak truth. We're making sure people understand that life can be full, and we use theater to do that. Theater can assist you in any aspect of your life, right? I am going to leave with a small little thing. Goodbye.
Beautiful. Give it up, give it up.
Yes,
Come on.
Yes. Small little things.
And I can just speak to that. I did Langston Hughes, y'all, and let me tell you, changed my whole perspective on what it means to be black amongst your own people. So he was speaking truth. Look into it for real. But before we get to our next speakers, like, what's up? Seattle Freeze, don't let it just get your attitude and your body. Like, come on, y'all, where's the energy? Okay. Where's the energy? And what are we celebrating today? Is it not black people? Is it not black lives? So let me get some energy. Thank y'all.
Amen. Hey, so we are just once again just excited for each and every one of you. How many of you are so proud that you have ventured out into Omicron and Omarion and the Panini and the pandemic to really demonstrate that you are about this business of truth?
Come on.
Of justice, of mercy, of compassion. Come on. When I say freedom, you say for all. Freedom.
For all.
Equality.
For all.
Justice.
For all.
Freedom.
For all.
Equality.
For all.
Justice.
For all.
Freedom.
For all.
Equality.
For all.
Justice.
For all.
There it is. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Hey, coming to the stage, we want to welcome you, our very own. He on the phone. We want to coming to the stage. We want to welcome Reverend Terrence Proctor, and then as soon as he get off the phone, we want to welcome Reverend Larry Gossett, our brother Larry Gossett.
All right. Look, everybody got nervous. He gonna preach. No, my hour is not coming. I yield to our dear brother, a giant in the community, Brother Larry Gossett. Where's the? Hey, y'all need to sandy wipe these mics. I can't be talking in no mic. Somebody done hold it. You know you got the Omarion out here. Yeah, come on, man.
Next person needs to use the podium, please.
Yeah, come on.
I'll take that.
Okay. Oh, use the podium.
My name is Larry Gossett, and I have the honor today as a participant in this year's, well, I need to tell you this. This year, we're having the 39th straight tribute to the great late Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. So let's give it up for that. Seattle's unique. 39 straight years. And we're the only geographic area in the world community, I'm talking about on this planet, that has the honor of being named, only geographic area that has the honor of being named in honor of the late, great Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Let's give it up for that. But I'm making a special tribute, recognition, that our coalition feels very honored to be able to do. And this year we're making it to another late great, but he was from the Seattle area person. His name was Willie Austin. And before I go any further, I would like the Austin family, Venetia, Willow, and all the cousins to come up to the stage with me, and Reverend Proctor. Okay, Reverend Proctor's already up here. Willie Austin was a brother raised in West Memphis, Louisiana. Arkansas, excuse me. I said Louisiana. Arkansas. Came up here to play football for the University of Washington Huskies in the 1980s and became a all-league cornerback. He was a great football player. Then in the 90s, he got involved in weightlifting and other recreational activities. He was trained to be a trainer of athletes and people in the community that just want to get their body together. Then a few years later, he was won a tournament, an international tournament, and that year he became, for his weight group, the world weightlifting champion. He was 180 pounds and he lifted over his head 777 pounds. He was a very strong man. But we're giving him this award because of the role he played and encouraging youth to get involved in the Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee. Every year he brought 8 to 12 youth, and they joined our organization to build for this annual event. Each of those 8 to 12 youth served on one of our committees, and he had them bring back information about what the committee was doing and what they were doing to build participation in this event. And every year those youth were really inspired and motivated, like you've heard from some of our earlier speakers, to get involved themselves and continue to stay involved beyond weightlifting, beyond becoming physically attractive and strong. They became involved in serving the community, honoring Dr. King and becoming their better selves. And because he played that role, because he did it from 1998 to 2011, bring these youth to participate in this event, we thought that it was time for us to honor him. And that's why we have this great award that I want to, in a very few minutes, present to his wife, Venetia Austin, who's here with us today. But before I do that, all right, let's give it up for Venetia. Before I do that, I'd like to bring his pastor friend, Reverend Terrence Proctor, of the church out here. I love the name of this church, the Church by the Side of the Road. I heard some of y'all say it. And I'd like for him to say a few words about his relationship with Mr. Willie Austin. And then I'll present the trophy to his wife and his daughter and his other relatives. All right, Reverend Proctor.
Give it up for Brother Gossett. He's been a long-time generation leader in our community. I just want to be faithful to the task that was asked of me. Willie Austin and I became friends, and we worked on the board. And as a pastor, he allowed me to pastor him, but it morphed into him mentoring me. And so we became kindred spirits and brothers in the journey. And I don't want to clog up the flow of this wonderful program. I want to put my remarks in context. Willie believed in holistic health. Can you say holistic? Holistic means the whole health. And as we put that in the mind, body, psyche, and spirit, and as we put that in the context of the Martin Luther King rally on today, is, listen, beloved, as a community, as a people, as a nation, we've got some heavy lifting to do, and we can't leave the task in the abstract ideology of justice. No, we've got to make sure we're fit so that we can do some heavy lifting in our community, heavy lifting in education, heavy lifting in the marketplace, heavy lifting in preparing this next generation to grab the baton and run forward in making this nation a more perfect union. And you can't do it if you're toxic. So now's the time, 2022. If the pandemic hasn't taught us anything, young people, you don't have the opportunity to wait till you get old to get fit. Old people, just because you're old doesn't mean it's too late. What we can't do alone, we can do together, and we must start doing it now. As the great prophet, I got it from, see, I just got the mic, and they tell the preacher 1 minute, you should have left me alone. Hallelujah. No, Marshawn Lynch said, protect your chicken and protect your mental. And Willie was a proponent to make sure we stayed fit, because you don't know what's next, but you better be in shape for the task ahead. So I just want to just reiterate that mantra. What we can't do alone, we can do together. So let's make sure we're fit, because we got some heavy lifting to do. Venetia.
Venetia. This is Willie Austin's wife. She had been a student of his before she became his wife. And I'm going to present this. Okay. I'm going to present this award to her. I'll just read it to you real briefly. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for us? For others, excuse me. And I already told you what Willie did for our organization and this community. Venetia Austin, Willow, his daughter, is right here, and the rest are his nephews and nieces.
I want to thank you to the MLK Coalition Committee for this award, and Mr. Gossett and Reverend Proctor. I'm not much of a speaker, but thank you all. And if Willie was here, he'd be humbled. He served God every day, all day long. That's right. And Dr. King was one of his greatest heroes, and he never missed a march. So this is for everybody. His commitment to his community and his service was really God's will for him. And he just always wanted to spread the message of love, unconditional love, and forgiveness and peace. And that's what I heard earlier today. Beautiful poetry and the songs. And just want to thank everybody for coming out here today. And yes, health. Willie always said, even if you stretched 5 minutes when you wake up in the morning, your day would be better. And if you stretch before you go to bed, your dreams would be sweeter. And just definitely, he's like, if you can get down and do 5 push-ups a day, 5 sit-ups a day, he just said, count even walking from the car to the grocery store. But he just believed in fitness and your health, and it's really important right now. Thank you.
Give it up, give it up.
And our coverage.
Okay.
Of
okay, let's give it up. Let's give it up one more time.
We'll have more speakers for you. Then we will be.
Hey, at this time, we also want to recognize all of those spiritual leaders, clergy, faith leaders, and healers. Also, all of our political leaders. Maybe if you're willing and if you're able, maybe just raise your hand just right where you are, just so that we might recognize you and all of the wonderful service and work in which you do for and with our community. And we say thank you. Thank you for who you are, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, we are going to welcome Samara Jeffrey coming to the stage. Listen, let me tell you something about Samara Jeffrey. I had the wonderful privilege and opportunity to just be encouraged and truly blessed by her gift. So let's make some noise just one more time as Samara Jeffrey comes in her own way.
Thank you.
I was
was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the skies. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there's been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Thank you.
Now
Let's
keep
give
giving
it
it
up.
up. Keep giving it up. Because that was beautiful.
Yes, yes. Hey, I was asked to make this announcement. If you are a part of the Divine Nine, there is going to be a photo shoot just going on right up here on the steps. If you haven't already made your way. Hey, coming to us next is April Jones. April Jones, come on and make your way, April Jones. April Jones and the 751 representatives. Come on and make your way expeditiously. All right, all right.
Hey, good morning. You guys ready to march for Martin Luther King? You guys ready to march for Dr. Martin Luther King?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I was getting cold standing down there. I'm ready to warm up. I'm ready to do some marching. So my name is Matt Hardy. I'm the Vice President of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. And if you guys haven't recognized this by now, this is that part of the program where we start to pay the bills. As you guys know, that we can't put this on for free. There's a lot of expenses that go involved. Now, I'm not a multimillionaire or a single millionaire or even a thousandaire like the young lady, the entrepreneur up here. But if I had $1 million, it'd be in this bucket. But that doesn't stop me from trying. So we're going to be passing around these buckets. You see everyone that's got the machinist jacket on at the blue buckets. If you guys could donate to those buckets, open up your purses, your wallets, your quarter strings, everything you got is most appreciative. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and prime the pump. I want to bring up my chief of staff, Richard Jackson, to prime.
Good morning. Happy Martin Luther King Day. My name is Richard Jackson. I'm the Secretary Treasurer for District 751 Machinists Union. And we're going to start this off by giving a check for $1,500 from the Machinists Union.
And also, you guys can also go online and you can do donations there too. If you don't have money here today, they take donations all year round. So go ahead and do that.
All right. So as the buckets are going around, please donate. We're going to be on a rally, so we're going to be marching down there. So if you don't get a chance, go ahead and donate on the rally, on the march. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, as these buckets are being passed around, let's make sure that we also recognize that it is a blessing to be a blessing. So with that, let's just give just like a quick, maybe like 2-minute pause, DJ, and we can just play some music just as this bucket is being passed around. And that would also help us to kind of get it moving a little bit. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Turn it up. Come on and do it.
And you are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio. We are live at Garfield High School, the site of the 40th anniversary, the 40th MLK Day rally and march, and a slight break in the action. I'm Rick Dupree along with Tony B, Bree Scott. We're all here. Just a moment ago, you heard that young lady sing a Sam Cooke song, "A Change Is Gonna Come." That was Bree's daughter. And Tony, I said, if someone's gonna try to sing some Sam Cooke, just like if they're gonna try to sing Luther, you know they can sing. And she sang it. She sang it. Oh, let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
But I tell you, a number of speakers coming up, so the program will continue, and then the program will be followed by the march from here, Garfield High School, all the way to the MLK Memorial on Martin Luther King Way, which used to be Empire Way.
Yeah.
And that all going on here. But we are here live, the 40th.
40th.
Man.
And this year we're hearing from different voices, and I like that. We're hearing testimonials from folks who are doing amazing things in our community. And that's been a cool. We're going to grab some of the iconic leaders and do some personal interviews over here, but we've heard from a number of different people. I'm trying to remember some of the names now, Rick, that we just talked to. Willie Austin's wife and Isaiah
Anderson,
and
Reverend Terrence Proctor.
Terrence Proctor. These women, it was a Keisha Credit, the self-made millionaire who started out selling wigs.
Wow, man. The 2008 graduate of Garfield High School. Young lady, getting it done.
Yeah, went to work at Microsoft and quit to sell wigs to follow her dreams and became a millionaire.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I tell you, Tony, those messages, I mean, that's what it's all about. We talked about it earlier, but the dream that you can do anything. And she talked about that. It's so important. And so we have a nice crowd that has gathered here at Garfield High School. The program will continue with a few more speakers. And then the march from, again, here down to the MLK Memorial. All of that right here today on the Rainier Avenue Radio.
I see Larry Gossett over there.
And Larry Gossett mentioned.
Alex, please make your way to the stage. Alex.
You want me to go?
So they've got a couple more musical acts coming up as well. But it's interesting. Larry Gossett mentioned, Tony, that King County, named after Martin Luther King Jr. County, the only municipality in the world bearing his name. And Larry Gossett, a big reason of that, along with Eddie Rye Jr. We're going to give the mic to the man himself, Larry Gossett, and as he puts that headset on, and we will chat with him briefly here.
Mr. Gossett, how are you doing? Can you hear us okay?
I'm doing all right. I hope the people can hear me.
Yes.
We can hear you okay. Rick Dupree, Tony B, along with Larry Gossett. And Larry, you've got to be proud. I mean, a legacy that continues here, not only the legacy of Dr. King, but here in Martin Luther King County, in Seattle, Washington, if you will, or in the state of Washington. This continues the 40th celebration here at Garfield High School.
This is the 39th straight year we've been doing it.
39th straight year.
Starting in 83,
That's incredible.
And you've expanded. Now you have the youth activities that are taking place on Sunday as well.
Right. Very
All
nice.
right. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Once again, when I say freedom,
I
you say
think,
freedom.
Mr. Gossett, we're going to go back to the
Justice,
stage.
Equality.
And we'll grab you a little bit later.
Justice.
But thank you very much for coming over. Yeah.
Freedom. Justice. Equality. Make some noise. Make some noise. Hey, we are excited once again to bring back
on
to
the
you,
musical act,
Alex
and we'll be back with
Alex,
more
who will be
interviews
coming
in a little
their
while.
own way. Let's give them some noise.
How's everybody doing today? Good. I'm so honored to be here. My name is Alex Gonzalez. This is Alex Inger. We're going to be doing a song called Give You Blue. So I hope you all enjoy. Right there. I can't stop the rain, but I will keep you dry. When the shore feels far away, I'll be by your side. But when the storms rise, baby, I will shelter you. When your sky is gray, I will give you blue. I can move a mountain, 'cause I am just a man. No, I can't undo what's happened, but I will understand. And although it may hurt, baby, I'll tell you the truth. When your sky is gray, I will give you blue. I can't stop the rain, but I will wipe your tears. Oh, I wish I can take what hurts you and make it disappear. But I can't work no miracles, but I do what I can do. When your sky is gray, baby, I will give you blue. When your sky is gray, I will give you blue. Thank you.
Let's give it up. Come on. They just serenaded us, y'all. It was beautiful. All right, next we're going to have Alexis Buru and her interns. Welcome them. Welcome them.
I know you guys got more energy than that, please. Make some noise. I know it's cold. We're about to start marching, and once we start marching, I want more energy. Not a single mouth not chanting. So my name is Alexis Buru. I was an intern with the coalition last year, and this year I was able to have the honor of leading our current internship program. We succeeded in executing our annual youth event, our Young Leaders program yesterday, if you caught it, on Rainier Avenue, and you can still find that recording, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you want. Today, I and the interns want to talk about, an issue that is very much prevalent when we have conversations about education, Martin Luther King, his legacy, what we want to be seeing when it comes to social change. All of these issues are intersected, and today we're going to be talking about the unfortunate impacts and devastations that gun violence is having on our community, especially in the South End, especially with our young people, our young Black men, our young children. And we want to bring awareness to the fact that there's no truth in education, there's no safety in education if we don't treat it as a holistic issue, holistic health in education, holistic parameters that talk about all of the things that impact students, not just in the classroom, but outside the classroom as well. So I'm going to pass it on to our interns so they can introduce themselves and give a little bit more about this topic.
Hi, y'all. How we doing? I'm Megan. I'm one of the interns with the MLK Coalition. There have been 693 mass shooting incidents this past year and 20,726 gun deaths. Let that sink in. I'll say it one more time. There have been 20,726 gun deaths this past year alone. We have witnessed white supremacists get away with murder. We have grieved for the loss of students in school shootings, children. We have prayed that we wouldn't be next. The trauma and the anger from these stories of injustice have laid heavy on communities everywhere, but especially our young Black and brown students.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kennedy. The bottom line is that students deserve to feel safe. This is an issue that goes beyond politics, okay? It is terrifying to go to school every day, a place that is supposed to protect you, and not know that if each day will be your last. It is terrifying to feel that your leaders prioritize profit and gun rights over your own life. We are terrified, we are angry, and we are fed up, okay? These are human beings, friends, children, activists, future educators, and doctors, and it needs to stop.
Hi, everybody. My name is Osai. And as we know, the impact of gun violence has left a heartbreaking feeling on communities of color. Even though violence is experienced everywhere in the U.S. by people of all ages, races, and backgrounds, the issue is disproportionately impacted by people of color. The majority of gun violence affected by Black and Latino people in historically underfunded and underlooked communities is disappointing. The Brady organization has shown that Black Americans are twice as likely as white Americans to die from gun violence and 14 times more likely than white Americans to be wounded. I know this sounds like a big issue because it is, but we can all take small steps to address these issues. You can talk to your local government officials that can back and advocate for stricter gun laws, and you can also advocate for more funding to be pumped in to community centers where children of color have a safe haven rather than being victims of gun violence. We all need to be a part of this problem in order to solve this issue. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sierra. I'm another intern. And to quote Dr. Martin Luther King, freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It is demanded by the oppressed. So today we stand here in front of all of you in our anger and our allyship. And we demand that schools redirect money from our SRO programs towards mental health and counseling. We demand stricter gun laws. We demand that our students of colors be seen and be heard. Now, please join us in a moment of silence for the lives we have lost this past year to gun violence. Thank you.
All right, all right, all right. Let's give it up for our interns one more time. And Alexis, please. Those ladies have done an excellent job working our program for our young people this year. With that being said, that concludes our Garfield rally. We are getting ready to start our way for our march, which will be on the intersection of Jefferson and 23rd. We're going to give some directions from a member of our Peacekeeper Logistics Committee to help guide you. Please march safely, keep your mask up, make sure you socially distance. If there's a medical emergency, you will have a peacekeeper near you.
What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Oh, it's really beautiful to see everyone here. And before we march, I want to share some of the safety details. But first, before anybody moves, I would like to let the cars that are going to protect us get onto the street. Are we okay with that? Are we okay with that? Are we okay with that? Word. So these cars that are working with us, they're situated to protect us from any cars running into us on the street. Can I take this mask down? The cars that are, oh, that's so much better. Can y'all hear me better? Word. So the cars that are going to be in front of us and behind us and alongside of us are to make sure that no cars come into the crowd to hurt us. Are we okay with that? All right. Also, as you look around, you're going to notice a lot of people that are wearing reflective vests. Those are your peacekeepers. What are they wearing? What are they wearing? All right. And when you see our peacekeepers, we want to keep everybody over to the left side of the lane because the cars that are blocking the intersections are going to be moving alongside the march to get back up to the front to block future intersecting lanes to make sure that cars don't come up. And the hand sign that you're looking for when the peacekeepers are asking the crowd to move over so that there's enough room for the cars is this. And they're going to be saying, please move over, cars are coming by. Please move over, cars are coming by. Also, right, so we're not going to be holding the street in the same way that we're holding like this lot right here. For those of you with children, please be mindful that cars will be moving around us to help protect us and hopefully like be more towards the right or towards the center of where the march is. That way you can keep an eye on all of them. The car brigade also knows to watch. So all the onus is not on any one of us, it's on all of us together. We've also got security crew. And we've also got medics that are going to be with us, and there's going to be a van behind trailing the whole way just in case anybody needs medical assistance. If you didn't know, they had a tent over here, and there's also going to be a tent when we finish down there at City Hall today. So what are our peacekeepers wearing? What are they wearing? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? And at the front of the march, there's going to be a march marshal who's going to be helping to pace the march. We want to make sure that everybody who leaves here to march with us gets down to City Hall together. How do we want everybody to get to City Hall together? Together and healthy and safe, right? So we're going to do it slow and with the communication of the crew. So sometimes we may pause while we're making sure that an intersection is safe before we go through, because this is the community taking care of itself. Okay, I was just making sure that the cars had got out there before I finished. The last thing that I'd like to share is that
that's when I know I'm done. I gotta get to make sure I'm on point.
A sign of doing way too much. We have vans that are going to be trailing a van for anybody who starts the march that doesn't feel like they can finish the march. And if anybody would like to get into a van now and to move with the march while we go down the march, you're welcome. And our vans are set up over here, and we'll love to help you get into those vans now. Let's see. I can't really think of anything else. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? All right. When we start pulling folks into the street, we're going to start it from over that way and follow the march marshals as they get us all out into the street. Can we do that?
Close it out with another announcement. Our interns and our young people are going to be at the front of the march. Please do not move ahead of them. They are carrying the MLK Coalition sign, so please make sure you are behind that sign. Again, for our elderly and disabled, we have vans over here on the side for you. If you need additional help, please come over to the vans and we'll get you in them. We'll have shuttles to bring folks back up to Garfield. For those of you that want to get back up here, we'll have buses bringing folks back up. We'll also have food to hand out downtown. Is everyone ready? I said, is everyone ready? All right, let's do this. Thank you.
Along with Bree Scott, we are here at the main stage, and as you just heard, the march is about to begin, and they are headed over to the MLK Memorial. So what we're going to do is, Bree and I, as things clear out here, we'll grab a few people if we can and talk with them about today's event, talk about the purpose of the day. And Tony and others will be in the crowd, and you'll have pictures of what's going on as they march over in the crowd from here over to the MLK Memorial, and then we will go from there. So, very nice event today, and
yes,
you know, and it was a good mixture of young and experienced. I'll say, I won't say old, but young and experienced folks, and just giving you a good perspective on the day and the purpose of the day.
Yes, I am so inspired by the speeches out there. Keisha Credit brought the message. Oh my goodness. And that's kind of the path I've been on too. And it was nice to hear that reminder. And I talk to my kids about that too. It's like, what is it that you want to do? What speaks to you? And anything that they're doing and that they say that they want to do, we're starting to cultivate that for them. Yes, you can go to college, but there's other things that you can do. And I love that she reminded us of that today.
Yeah, that was such an important message. And you know, as you look at kind of what's going on today in the workforce and what have you, there is a huge disconnect between college education and the real world workforce.
Yes.
And a lot of people are questioning, okay, why am I spending all this money going $100,000, $200,000 in debt, and then coming out of college and not being able to get a job and what have you, and certainly not discouraging people from getting an education.
Go get your education if that's what you want.
Because that's going to give you opportunities. It should give you opportunities, but it is not the only path. And Keisha Credit talking about that.
Creating your own path and the dream, keeping that dream alive of you have this dream and people have this vision for you, but you got to follow your own path.
Yeah. So important. And it's great to hear from Isaiah Anderson Jr. And I personally have benefited from my daughter, who went on to Howard University, got a degree in musical theater there.
Nice.
Is an alumna of that program, and I want to say 5 different productions and the summer musicals, and just the lessons and being there. And as Isaiah said, getting on the stage and the integration of arts in education, and it's not something that we want to if we can add it on. It has to be an integral part of the educational experience and that ability for kids to express themselves. And so great message there from Isaiah Anderson Jr. as well.
He's really good with the kids too. My daughter's 3 years. She's an alumni too. I think she did 3 or 4 years. My son did 1. And I promise you, my son, we need people like Isaiah in the community. I got so many phone calls from school during the year for my son, but that summer musical, I had no issues with my son. He's not a bad kid, but he is a black kid. And you know how it is. They can make barely any mistakes. And the way that he commands the attention of the kids in a very respectful way, and then teaches them to be who they are. And even my daughter, she was very shy, and now she's out here performing. So
yeah, I tell you, and if you did not hear her perform, she gave a rendition of Sam Cooke's
Samara Jeffrey.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Yes.
And she was incredible. But so important to talk about the arts, and I'm over at Seattle Academy, and one of the things we do is arts is woven into everything that we do in every class. So the ability to present. It's interesting because you look at MIT which, obviously people look at MIT, a great school and what have you, and their graduate business program, the Sloan Business School, they started years ago an improv acting class. And the reason is because they were graduating the best and the brightest minds, but they were having trouble presenting themselves, having trouble articulating. So it just, the way you integrate that in is so important.
Yeah, arts is very important. And like he said, sometimes people just need that encouragement, that hand clap. And it's okay to need that.
Yeah.
It's okay to need that. And we're created to be community. So I'm really happy that we're out here. We're talking about Martin Luther King. The dream does continue. Just because he's gone does not mean that dream has passed on with him. We are continuing the dream and organizing as a community.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes.
Yeah, no doubt. So I believe you're going to be seeing pictures. And I'll ask Daniel. Daniel, we got pictures out in the crowd as well, or what are we looking at? All right, so we'll get all of that set up.
They're getting ready
Yep.
to go marching. I'm happy that this has been able to go on for over 40 years. This is wow. This is nice.
Yeah.
Coming together in the community.
It really is. And so what you should be seeing, we're going to have a camera on myself and Bree, but then you also have the crowd as they are gathering. And the young interns, you heard some interns speaking on stage, they will be leading the way. There's also some shuttle vans for individuals that may not be able to walk, or if individuals walk and then need to be shuttled back here to Garfield. So a lot of things in place, but the MLK organizing committee doing a phenomenal job. And as we heard earlier, really seeing a lot of young people getting more and more involved in that planning. So that's going to be an important part of carrying on the legacy.
I love that. I love how we're starting to switch this, bringing the youth in and speaking to the youth more, even in the schools. I remember growing up, we didn't really talk much about politics. We were just taught a certain vision of this country. But now we're teaching our kids to rise up and use their voices, speaking out. And I'm glad that they're taking that opportunity, because soon it's going to be them. We're passing the baton on to them. I can't believe I'm passing the baton on to the young people. I still feel young sometimes.
But it is, when you talk about movements and you talk about change, it has come from young people. My son and I are working on a documentary, and we partnered with Aaron and Elmer Dixon, the co-founders of the Seattle chapter of the Black Panthers. And as you look at the Black Panthers, you're talking about teenagers. For Aaron and Elmer, they were 19 and 17. And as Aaron will shares, and you'll see that hopefully the documentary, the goal now is we will have it completed at the end of the year. But Aaron talks about they selected him. He was 19 years old, freshman out at University of Washington, but a young people's movement. And what was so incredible about people like Dr. King and Medgar Evers and Malcolm X and all of the people that have fought for our rights and the Black Panthers is that they knew that taking this stand, they were standing for something that was bigger than them.
Yeah.
And they knew that they could potentially lose their lives, but yet they still did it.
Yep.
And I don't think most of us can really relate to that and understand that. But that's, as you talk about Dr. King and his legacy, he said, I'm going to stand in the gap. I'm going to be here to see a change happen. And again, like your daughter said, change is going to come. But, he said, hey, I may not see it. He said, I may not live to see it, but I have a dream that this world, that my kids are going to be in a world where, they're not judged by the color of their skin. And, it's a young people's movement in a lot of ways. But those of us that have been around, that are more seasoned, I won't say old, that are more experienced, have to share the wisdom and experience that we've gotten, but also not get in the way and basically say, well, young people, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
That's where the energy is.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm learning. I'm actually learning from my kids as well. Like my son, he's like, I say he has an old man in a young Black boy's body. I always have to tell him, let me handle it. But he is very vocal. He sees. He is very political. He is very matter of fact. He's seen racism. He's called racism out, and I'm in awe of it. Sometimes I have to stop myself from calming him down, because you have to call it out when you see it, or it won't stop. And it does start with the youth, and they are not playing with us, and they are not playing with them.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. And like they said, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
Yeah, that is the truth. Fred Hampton, tell you what, from Chicago.
Keep it going. Yes.
Yeah. So again, we are live at Garfield High School. This was the site, the main stage of the rally, the 40th rally and march celebrating Martin Luther King Jr., his legacy, and all that he stood for. And what's going on now? And I'm going to look at the camera and see, okay, so you can see if you're checking us out. If you're listening to us but not watching us, remember, you can go on to either YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch and go on to the Rainier Avenue Radio page, and you will be able to see the stream as well of what is going on. So you can kind of see the march beginning. And, there it is on there.
Yeah,
Queen Bree and Rick Dupree speaking to you. But you see, it looks like they're marching there down, is that going up the street, I think, past Garfield High School. And so they're on their way south over to the MLK Memorial.
Walking down 23rd. Everybody be safe out there. I think we had a really good turnout.
Yeah. Excellent
is
turnout.
Yeah.
Sun coming out a little bit. It's not too overcast and cloudy. Get a little sunshine peeking through.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing because
It's a blessed day.
Because I don't know about you, but as a black man, I need some sun.
I need some sun. Look, I need a little heat going over here. My feet about to fall off.
Yeah, we need
I'm gonna have to get carried to the car.
Yeah. I tell you what. And, things are clearing out here. We were hoping to grab some speakers. I don't know if we're going to be able to get, anyone because it really is clearing out. But there are booths around. There are vendors. And, it's just been a great day. They are still, beginning to pack up. Northwest African American Museum I see over right in front of the Quincy Jones Performance Center. And NOM has done a lot. In terms of just moving the needle as well. And so doing a great job over there.
They have an event this evening. I think it's oh Lord, what time is it? I think it's at like 5. They have an event going on. I have to look up the information, but NOM has been doing a lot of things, and they have an event this evening online, and I think it's free to sign up. So you guys go check out NOM and see what the events they have going on. They have been really instrumental. We had Lanisha on our show.
Yeah.
And she is such a beautiful soul. And she came and she brought information for us. And one of the things that I had taken away from her is we were talking about Black history. And she said, don't forget to look up your Black history. We're always researching all of the leaders in the community, but what about the leaders in your family?
Academy, we got now, there's 15 black men on faculty and staff, and a couple, one from Jamaica, one from Nigeria. And we were talking about just kind of, your family history, your family tradition, and what have you. And it's interesting, the brother from Nigeria said, what you got to realize is that Black Americans, there's that distinction, and because we were brought over, here and enslaved, whereas some others from Jamaica, from Nigeria, what have you, weren't. And he said, Black Americans in particular have influenced every walk of life all over this globe. Everybody trying to emulate who we are, what we do, how we do it. So it's so important, again, like you said, to learn about your own family history and tradition. I don't know if you watch Henry Louis Gates, but he's got the show Finding Your Roots, and had a show a couple weeks ago, and with Pharrell was one of the guests, and looking back in his history, and for Pharrell, and Henry Louis Gates said it's the first time he's ever done this during the show. They stopped the interview and said, we're going to come back and do it at another time. Because what it is, Pharrell, they went through and they were able to trace back the white slave owner, that owned some of his family. And as they turned the page and Pharrell saw the man, his emotional reaction to that was such. I mean, he just, and Pharrell said as he was doing his interview, he said a couple times, okay, I just need a minute. And they had these pauses. And Henry Louis Gates said, this is the first time I've done this show where I've agreed to stop doing the interview, and we're going to continue it at a later date. Wow. And it was so powerful, but for Pharrell to learn about his family history, and, how many of us can go back? I mean, we don't know. Yeah. There's a certain point where, okay, we can go back so far, and then we're stuck, and we don't have the resources like Henry Louis Gates. Got people doing DNA and all of that. But
That's
again,
what
the whole point of that is that that's a powerful message.
Yeah, because that's what we talk about in our family a lot of times. We were like, now I know that my grandma and I know this, but like you said, it only goes back so far. And so my intention is this year is to get with my elders before they pass away to get more information because my grandmother has already gone. And so it's my grandfather. But a couple years ago, I learned a little bit more about my grandfather and how powerful he was and where he's at. And he actually got a street named after him. It's in a small town, but it was still amazing to go back and hear all these amazing stories about who my grandfather was and getting to know him and who he is now as an adult. So it is important to know your roots, and I can understand. That's how I would have been if I was for real. Like, wow, this is deep.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Pharrell, being such a creative spirit and one he comes across and came across, I learned more about him watching the show. And if you haven't seen it, Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates, I'm sure it's on YouTube or whatever. But the episode with Pharrell, and I'm trying to remember there was who else was the other person. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Look, I gotta write this down. I
But,
haven't seen that show, but I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, on PBS, and Pharrell talked about he came across he said, I have the spirit right. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, and what happened? He said, I'm having a reaction to seeing this man, and the reaction I don't want to have, which is I want
right.
So that's so powerful. But yeah, you talked about again the family roots and something that's so important. We talk about oral history and in the Black community in particular, that oral history, but how important it is to document it, whether it is interviewing a grandmother, a great aunt, whatever, and getting them on film or getting them audio, whatever the case may be, so important to have that history, and so we know where we come from. And it's interesting because some studies talk about for a young person to know their family history and know that their family has been through some things and has made it through. Is such a powerful message, and as you're able to talk about who you are and where you come from. And I look at my family, and we know more on my maternal side, my mother, than my father, and trying to learn more and more. But one of the things on my maternal side, my mother's family migrated here from St. Louis. And if you just tuned in, you listen to Rick Dupree and Queen Bree. We are at Garfield High School. The rally has wrapped up, and if you are joining us on either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you can see some shots of the march going on over to the MLK Memorial.
And Daniel put up Finding Your Roots for us. So you guys check that out. I haven't seen that show. I did see a commercial for it. I got kids and they were taking over the TV. So 5 times I watch that because I want to see that. That is
there you go. There's the episode with Pharrell. You see Pharrell on there. We're talking about this because again, talking about how important it is to know your roots and how that empowers you and gives you strength. And for me, I was talking about my family. My mother's side of the family migrated here from St. Louis. And my grandmother was born in 1887. I knew her. That was the only grandparent I knew. And grandma passed away in 1980. It was 93 or just before her 93rd birthday. I was 18 years old. But my grandparents, so her and my grandfather, who I never met, were actually married in a house that my aunt and her husband owned on Orcas, right off of Rainier and Orcas. I think it was in 1913, I want to say. And so, again, a long history, here. But they were in Tacoma, and my mother, being the youngest, was born in 1927 and should have gone to Lincoln of Tacoma High School. But my uncle was a Tuskegee Airman and was in the war. And I believe at that time, Yesler Terrace was housing for Black military families, which is where my aunt was living. And they talked my grandmother into allowing my mom to move with her into Yesler Terrace. So my mom ended up going to Garfield High School, right here where we're at. Graduated in 1945 from Garfield High School. But again, knowing some of that history, being able to pass that down to my kids, to my grandkids, is so important for them to know who they are.
It is, and it's like too. It's important to know. Like for me, there was times where I was like trying to find my way, and once I found out like why I moved the way I moved because of my family history, and then all the stuff passed down to them, the good and the trauma that is passed down, it helped you be able to navigate to move a different way. And that's what I found out learning my family history. Like, oh, okay, so this is why I do this, and this is the goodness that comes out of the family thing. So I appreciate me and my kids. We appreciate the good and the bad. We are proud Jeffries. Okay, we are
There you
proud
go.
of our history. We are proud of where we came from, the good and the bad, because our family, we learned are survivors. Like, we are determined and we can do it.
Yeah, and that's an important message. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's interesting to talk about this and just having the pride in this. We look at Dr. King and the start of the movement. From the bus boycott, even before then, and we see on TV now the documentary and what have you on Emmett Till, people learning of his story. But around that time, really the civil rights movement started. And prior to that, there wasn't this sense of black pride and that black is beautiful. And again, in the 60s and in 1966, when the Black Panther Party was started down in Oakland, because of the police brutality, and there was this shift, and you saw, where people and what drew Aaron and Elmer Dixon started to show up, they're talking about Stokely Carmichael. Stokely Carmichael came here to Garfield High School in 1967, and was talking about black is beautiful, black pride, and that was something that Aaron Dixon said, we're never heard that before, black pride. And then you have James Brown with Say It Loud on Black and Proud, and if you think about this, is our lifetime where we were looked upon, and still are in a lot of ways, as these individuals started to instill this sense of pride and beauty in the color of our skin, the texture of our hair, the clothes we wear, the style that we have. Yeah. And we have a style that is all our own. And I'm proud to be a black man. I think it's awesome is that when you think about the history, and I don't say this to be dramatic, but white people should be thankful that every time a black person doesn't see them, doesn't come up and smack them.
Right.
Given the brutality of the history of how we've been treated, but we as a people are such a forgiving, loving people. And again, that sense of black pride and who we are. And I look at my daughter who went to Howard University, and something that they instill in their students is that no, you are special. You are going to change the world. It's not a matter of maybe this, it is you are going to do it. And we need more of that. That's why it's so important. I think some of young people going to HBCUs and getting that message and really feeling that sense of value, worth, and black pride.
Shout out to the HBCUs. They are important. They are needed.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I am also a proud black woman, a proud dark-skinned black woman. It was a while where I wasn't, very proud of that.
Yeah.
Because of I remember, when school days, when we were kids after school days, Lord, my cousins used to harass me and call me a jigaboo. And they thought it was funny, but stuff like that you internalize. When you get older and you realize that my black is beautiful and different, and I love the different shades of black that we have.
Yeah.
I look at my family, we are all different shades of black. I'm so loving it and proud of it.
Yeah, it's important. I started out in Florida and I remember went down there because I am light skin. They told me I was a high yellow. And we're learning, so I was like, well, I've never heard all of that. And didn't really think much about light skin and dark skin, but there is, that perception. Like you said, we have been taught to this self-hate, to not love ourselves. And so events like today and recognizing Dr. King is so important because it brings us back to, we are special people and we have impacted this world. And it's just so important. Again, you're listening to Ricky P and Queen Bree. We are, I don't know why I want to keep saying Queen Bree.
That's fine.
Queen Bree is the Queen Bee. But anyway, we are here. And if you are watching on our streaming, either streaming on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, you are seeing Tony B and others. They have mobile cameras out there, and they are giving you pictures of the march headed over to the MLK Memorial. We're going to be here as long as they allow us to be here, as long as we have power. I'm not sure how long that's
it
going to
looks
be.
like they're going down Jefferson. Is that Jefferson? I thought they said they were going to MLK, but that looks like Jefferson.
Well, you kind of see the march there, so wherever they are going, they are marching over.
Oh yeah, they're going past Jefferson. They're going down Jefferson past the Swedish Providence.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah. We know what we're talking about, but they did say the memorial at first, and then they said downtown for y'all.
Okay, so they are marching. Okay,
y'all know what it is. We out here marching, keeping the dream alive, and it is important. We have all these things going on. Oh my God, I cannot believe we are still fighting for basic rights for our people, still.
Really back on voting rights. It is something we have to continue to do.
Yes, voting rights, women's rights to their bodies. It's crazy. And what I was saying earlier about Martin Luther King dream is I've been thinking about the dream about it. Like we of course we always talk about the community and coming together, but it's that dream piece. It was that dream that we can dream and we put that vision and we organize and it comes to fruition.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really scared because I know once we organize and once we get out there and once we fight and once we come together, it's going to happen. We're going to be able to win these games. I mean, not these games. Win the war against our voters' rights and our women's rights and our social justice and the rise in the rents in the city.
Yeah. Well, justice will prevail, but the fight will not be easy, and
No.
it is ongoing. Unfortunately, people are not going to do right just because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And one of the things that's interesting, Dr. Al Black, many know Dr. Black, retired professor from University of Washington, but he talks about we were in a situation where if people weren't going to give us our right, we had to force them to give our rights, and that continues to this day.
I won't say the name, but we talk a lot about this council member out in Seattle, and people cannot stand this person. But I'm like, yes, she is a little radical, but you have to be radical when you are fighting for social change. And it may look crazy to you, but people aren't listening. So you have to get a little radical out there. I mean, we walk in peace and we do talk, but sometimes you have to stand on that table. You've got to knock a few tables over there so they can hear and know that you are serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just logic. I mean, you talk about agitating, and things don't happen. You can say the saying, no pain, no gain, or you're dirty. The washing machine's going to agitate to get it clean. Whatever the case may be, you get the point. Is that you got to rattle the cage some to make something happen.
Yeah,
it's not going to just be given to you, and that's just is what it is. So,
especially when it comes to social change, social justice.
When it comes to people having to, as they proceed to giving up. Yeah. And the reality is, when we all benefit, each member benefits, we all benefit. And people see it that way. Again, you're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio's live coverage of the MLK Day March, and the rally also 5.5 the march is going on. And I'm going to shift gears, and we have a show here at Rainier Avenue Radio. I want to share with those listening and tell us a little bit about your show and what's coming up.
Yeah, so I host a show with Robin, my co-host, Clean Greens and Alive, broadcast right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is an extension of the farm that we run, Clean Greens Farm and Market. And so we have people coming on. We originally started the show to talk about health and eating food, food. But now it's shifted to community. So it's health and wellness. We're talking about community. Our past show, we have a nutrition class. We had a nutritionist on telling us about our gut health and how important it is to take care of our gut. I'm starting to realize that we have two brains in our body, our gut and our brain. Our gut, you feed it right, and it signals to the brain how to respond to certain things. I can't think of the list of who's coming up next, but we will be having our favorite Dr. Alicia on. She's been on a couple of times just to talk about health and women's health and community justice. She specializes in birth health, birthing, being Black. And yeah, so please check us out. We're live Thursdays, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, every Thursday
live at 3:30, and I host a show called Monday Night Sports, as well as doing play-by-play for a number of our games that we cover, and we will be back in action this Friday night, correct, Daniel? And we're going to be at Rainier Beach High School, I believe, correct?
Yes, they will be hosting West Seattle.
Oh, West Seattle.
So West Seattle, so you can hear the girls' game live at 7 o'clock, boys at 8:30 or immediately following that game. But again, I host a live show Monday night. So tonight, 6:30, we'll be talking with Bob Condotta from the Seattle Times. and kind of wrapping up the Seahawks season over. Obviously, the playoffs finishing up well with one more initial playoff game or a first round playoff tonight. The first time I believe that they've had a Monday night playoff game, so kind of keeping in the regular season schedule. But with that said, we will kind of go over, get Bob's take on the Seahawks. What's coming up for the Seahawks during this offseason? What moves might they make? What moves are likely that they're going to make? But how do they get back into being a playoff contention team after missing the playoffs this year after a number of years? So that will be tonight, 6:30, right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. And right now, and sorry, you can hear me breathing a little bit. We got our masks on, trying to be all those nobody out there. I feel like taking it off.
Right. Yeah,
we're outdoors, But you're seeing a video of the march there. You can see we have a couple of cameras out there, and seeing the crowd, and they are again the 40th annual march and rally and march. And I'm trying to see exactly where they're. What is that?
Jefferson.
So they're right there on Jefferson. I know last year they went.
That's 15th. 15th and Jefferson.
So I know last year they went past Odessa Brown Children's Clinic and Carolyn Downs Medical Center, which are housed together. And so the march we thought was going to MLK, but now they're going downtown. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I heard. City Hall. So they're on their way to City Hall.
Headed to City Hall, not the MLK Memorial. And again, this is the 40th annual MLK Day rally and march.
And if I may, a broadcast like this takes a lot of people, takes a lot of equipment. And if you enjoyed today's broadcast, make sure you shoot us a little donation. On Venmo, you can do Rainier Avenue Radio. But if you don't have Venmo, just go to our website, rainieravenueradio.world. There is a button right by the player in the upper right corner that says Donate to Rainier Avenue Radio. You can go ahead and click that. It'll give you options to send in via mail, online, via Shunpike. So several different options to make it easy for you. And all your donations help us do the things that we're doing. In fact, we've upgraded a couple things just for today's broadcast, and that was off of donations. So keep them coming. We appreciate you, and thank you for tuning into today's broadcast.
Thank you for that
broadcast.
Thank you for that reminder, Daniel. Tony did say, as we go on, Rick, don't forget to mention. So Daniel on it, making sure you got to pay the bills, baby.
Daniel be on it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
You appreciate it in my Tupac voice.
So again, we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast, and it was really again great to hear from Larry Gossett and Larry as he went up. And Larry was one of a couple of people, along with Reverend Terrence Proctor, that gave the widow of Willie Austin a special award. The committee recognizing Willie Austin for a number of years. For those of you who may not know, Willie was just a fitness guru and a gentleman who really just believed in as Reverend Proctor said, a holistic view on health. But one of the things that Willie did every year was out here at the march, would bring youth out here and get them involved. And so the committee recognizing Willie and presenting his wife with a plaque. But Larry Gossett mentioned as he came up, saying, that this being the only municipality in the nation, in the world, named after the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And Larry Gossett, along with Eddie Rye, had a lot to do with that. Larry Gossett in his role, a long-time role as a King County councilman. So a special thank you to Larry, just the work that he's done and continues to do, fighting for social justice, fighting for equal rights right here in our own backyard. Well, Daniel, now you also do a show, Daniel. You want to share a little bit with our listeners so they can check you out as well?
I do a show, and right when I'm trying to throw the flyer on, the screen seems to freeze. But yes, it's called Fresh Juice, and it's every Wednesday night on Rainier Avenue Radio. We do hip hop, we do R&B, we interview artists, and this week we got there we go. He goes by the name of Jamwell Saxon. He is a producer and also an event host, and he'll be having his first ever radio interview. So this will this Wednesday night at 9 to 11 p.m. We don't know what's going to go down. It's his first time ever being on radio, so we'll try to keep him, comfortable and all that. But there will be new hip hop, new R&B. He'll show some of his production. So tune in then this Wednesday at 9. And shout out to my co-hosts, Pint Size Patron and ID Yourself.
Jamwell Saxon, huh?
Yeah, I wonder where he got that name from. Something about snakes on planes.
I don't know. Well, again, hope you're enjoying our broadcast here. We are wrapping things up, or I should say, they are wrapping things up here quickly around us. I'm kind of looking around, and all of the vendor tents, they are packing it up, and the march is going on. And so we're going to stay with it for just a little while longer here. There you see the interns. If you have been listening to the broadcast, the interns, shared a little bit about their experience, and they are leading the way, holding the MLK sign.
Thank
you. And
I just waved Jason Turner over from NAM so they could tell us about their event.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so
we got somebody out here.
Yeah. And that mic.
This mic. I got your text. I responded.
Is this mic still hot?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said what? Yeah, she was. We want to talk. Look, get on the mic.
The mic. You want to take the mic?
This is Jason Turner. So Jason Turner, he
over here.
He wears many hats. He's talking about the performance of Samara. Me and Jason co-managed Samara, and so we were talking. He's talking about how amazing she did. You're right. It does take a village. But I was trying to tell them about NAM's event today, and I couldn't remember the times. So
Hold on one second. I'm gonna get this mic on, and then
don't get me the line.
Okay.
Right, like he's pulling up the information. We want to get the correct information.
Okay.
But we wanted to talk about what the things you guys got going on in NAM. They're shutting down. I caught him off guard, so he's getting it together real quick, and that's okay because I host a show live every Thursday. But when somebody turns a question on me, I get tongue-tied. I get nervous.
Welcome to live broadcast, baby. You just got to figure out how to make it work.
Right.
This is real world.
This is real time.
This is the real deal.
Real deal.
As he's looking up that information again, hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. We are again live at Garfield High School, and this is the site of the 40th annual Martin Luther King Day rally and march, and the march is going on. So you're seeing pictures of the march as they are headed downtown.
And is he ready?
And okay, I'm going to give the mic to Jason. He's ready to go.
Okay, so first of all, I'm Jason with NAM, and I love my work and I love my job. We had a wonderful outdoor experience today at the rally at Garfield High School. And for those who want to know about our virtual program starts at 2 p.m. and goes to 7. There's a kids story time that goes from 3:30 to 6, but the main program is basically from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So if you go online at 2 p.m., you'll get the chance to see a segment, and then it'll go into the story time, and then it'll go to the regular programming.
And Jason, quick question. You said online, so where online do they go to the NAM website?
Yes, the NAM website, NAAMNW. So NAMNW, like Northwest.org. So check that out. And guess who's going to be the keynote speaker today? None other than the famous Nikki Giovanni. Nice. Nikki Giovanni, who is internationally known as a poet. So we're so glad and so honored to have her be our main speaker.
So what time will she be on if people want to check her out? Or is it
Well, I don't know the exact time of that, but
the event is from 2 until
2 to 7.
2 to 7. So.
And I think on the main program, I want to say 6 to 7. Okay. So it'll be around in that time.
The evening there. So make sure to tune in. Go to NAAMNW.org.
Yes.
And support Northwest African American Museum and all the things that you all are doing.
Yes, and I want to put a plug in for ACE Choir, because I'm the director of the NAM ACE Choir. We're the only African American museum with our own inspirational ensemble or choir, and so I'm so very, very happy to be part of that organization. And there's going to be a plethora of other people, speakers, storybook readers, performers, So please tune in. Thank you guys
right,
for
Thank
letting
you.
me talk about that.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jason, for
Thank
joining
you
us.
very much.
And
Yeah.
I'll be talking to you later, Jason. Okay. Shout out to Clean Greens, he said. Hey, Clean Greens
There
in the
you
house.
go.
Story time. You guys check that out. Don't underestimate the power of reading to the children.
Oh,
Me
man,
and my
yeah.
son, he loves to read, so I really been like trying to read to him, and we even started a story time with Pops where I record reading to him, and then we post it on his Instagram page.
Oh, neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it really helped. Like going to school, his teacher is so in love with him. She said he is like beyond where he's supposed to be with kindergarten. So don't underestimate the power of reading to your children.
Well, yeah, and just developing that love for it early on is so important.
Yeah.
And you know, I think in the Black community, one of the things we want to see is that changing that narrative that the only way out, the only way to success is through athletics
Yeah.
or through entertainment. And there are many, obviously, that have
Yep.
great success in those areas, but there's so many other
There's so
areas,
many other areas.
you know,
Yeah.
and sparking that love of learning early on is so important.
It
And
is.
yeah,
I have one son who is not athletically, he's athletically challenged,
Yeah.
but he loves to learn about math. He learns to learn about science. So we talk about being like, he wanted to be I forgot the name of it right now, but the ones that study the dinosaur bones. I've heard about it for years, but now I can't think of what they do.
Okay.
Or I tell him, you'll be a good lawyer because you like to argue your points. So we talk about all things. So it's not Black people. We are entertainers, but there is more to us than just entertainment and, like you said, athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, keeping that dream alive, whatever that dream, and
Yeah.
dreaming and knowing that you can do anything. And I love the message from Keisha Credit talking about,
Yeah.
there's nothing I can't do.
Yep.
There's nothing we can't do. And I'm a firm believer, in that. And, approaching 60, going into now becoming a filmmaker and working on film with my son. And so, yeah, it's just so important that you really believe in yourself. And I really appreciate my parents and, parents that were born again. My dad born in 1920, Montgomery, Alabama. My mom in 1927 in Tacoma, Washington. But they always instilled in me, and I'm the youngest of 5 boys, that we could do anything. There's nothing that we couldn't do that if we put our mind to it. And I think the message so important. You talked about that earlier of dreaming and having that dream and knowing that you can accomplish the dream. And, I'm a member at Mount Calvary Christian Center, and our Bishop Witherspoon always says, well, it's your dream, make it as big as you want,
Yeah.
and he says that jokingly, but also in all sincerity as well. And that is so important.
Yeah.
Again, this is Rick Dupree along with Queen Bree, and we are here, Bree Scott, live at Garfield High School. And I think we're going to be wrapping things up here momentarily, but you are seeing live shots of the march. The rally ended here just a little while ago and featured a number of great speakers, both young and experienced, and really nice to just see that mix in the crowd and also individuals that were recognized and speaking to the crowd, and messages of hope, messages of dreaming, messages of carrying on the legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And again, the march going on right now.
And some quite athletic camera work, actually. I mean, at one point there, I was like, "Are you going to get out of the way of the banner?" And she ducked under it. I was like, "Okay."
They look like they're making good timing. And like, what is this area?
I'm not sure where we're looking at.
I was like, look, the city is just changing, you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
they were
If
down.
they're headed
Jefferson-
down, that may be off of.
Oh, this
let's
is this
see.
the old? No,
Oh, I think they're stopped.
they were making good timing at one point.
Yeah,
They're-
there's we're trying to make a.
I know that they're
Figure out
headed
where
down
the-
to City Hall. Maybe they stopped to make a speech.
Is that City Hall?
No.
No,
I don't
they're
think
not
that's
there
City Hall.
yet.
They're not there yet. I think they're stopping to make a speech.
Okay.
I don't know. I've noticed like when I've done some marches, we always take a stop and there's like this speech.
Yeah.
And they may be in front of the youth detention center.
Makes sense.
That could be, yeah. There's so much construction going on, here in the Seattle area, trying to.
Yeah, it looks like they stopped to make a speech there.
That's the youth detention center
Yep.
right there.
Yep. Is that what that is?
I'm not sure.
Looks like they're trying to get us close to see.
Yeah, let's help us out, cameraman.
All right.
I don't know if they can hear us or not, but with
I
that
don't
said,
think
part
they
of the march, but so much change going on here in Seattle, and especially as you Look
Oh,
here in the central area.
we're
and
trying to
move
get a
down.
Lewis.
Clark. What is that?
Yeah, I think it is. Judge Patricia Clark.
Yeah, so I believe that is the youth
Yeah.
detention center.
Yes, we must rally against that.
Yeah, I struggle with that. I tell you, because unfortunately, very little rehabilitation happens.
Yeah.
In when people, whether young or old, are incarcerated, and it's sad. And so much money being put into a facility being built to lock people up, in contrast to diverting those resources to things that are going to help build them up and
Right.
change them.
And recognizing that a lot of these kids are in situations by birth, not by
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
And it's learned behavior and some things that they don't know, and they need our community to rise up and be out there supporting them instead of just saying, let's lock them up.
Right.
We need to be out there supporting them and giving them other options. So that's something we are marching about today too, making changes.
Yeah, so much so. We are about ready to. There you go. Yep. We are about ready to wrap things up. I think we're going to lose power here. So
Yep.
Dan, does that mean we're going to go to our regularly scheduled programming?
Yeah, I mean, if we lose the power, we lose the power.
Okay.
We fighting the power, y'all. We fighting the power.
but we losing it.
Oh yeah, we losing it, but we're not losing it. We just shifted. We shifted.
So there you go. You're seeing again live shots of the march headed downtown from Garfield. The 40th annual Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
Rally and march.
Keeping that dream and that vision alive, and not just his dream and vision, but your own dreams and visions. I'm glad that he was there to step up and let us know that we can, as people, not only fight injustice in the world, but we also can have our own dreams and make it and rise up. I mean, he was very young to have had his college degree and master's degree.
Yeah.
He was a powerful young man.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, MLK graduated from high school. I think it was 15.
15,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he was like 19 or so when he graduated from Morehouse University. But yeah, it's interesting because there's always some great quotes from MLK, and I pulled a couple that I just really resonated with me today. And it says, he says, the day is about action. We can't stand by and let injustice happen. We have a moral obligation to act.
Yes.
And that is so important. We do have an obligation to act. And he said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Today, we celebrate the life, obviously, and the work and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But yeah, again, it was so much about others, not just self. But like you said, if you see a need, go out. We got to do something about it.
And don't wait. You know what? Don't wait to be invited to the table.
Yeah.
Go out there and just start. See who needs help. And if you get pushed away, then start your own thing. I mean, that's not to railroad anybody else. But there's so many different areas that needs help. And maybe your vision and your mission is to help in that area that's not being helped in. So create your own table. Get out there and create a community and create a change. That's one thing I do want to leave you guys with, to make sure that you don't just wait for somebody to invite you to the table to make a change. You can make a change on your own.
Absolutely. That is so relevant. Yeah. So again, we are wrapping things up here. We're live at Garfield High School, the site of the 40th annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Rally and March. Rick Dupree and Bree Scott and Daniel B. And again, just want to remind you to continue to listen in here to Rainier Avenue Radio. We bring you special events like this, but also our regular shows. You can hear my show, Monday Night Sports, right here tonight on Rainier Avenue Radio, 6:30. I'll be talking with Bob Condota of the Seattle Times and get his take on the Seahawks and what's next for the Seahawks. And Bree, your show?
Clean Greens Living Live broadcasted on Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Check us out. Me and Robin T.
And Daniel, there you go, the green Clean Greens graphic on there. And then Daniel has a show as well. You want to tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yep, hip hop and R&B every Wednesday night, 9 to 11. We got Jamwell Saxon on this Wednesday. It's his first ever interview. He's a producer and an event host this Wednesday, 9 p.m.
So there you have it. I think that's going to wrap it up for us here at Garfield High School. We're going to go to our regularly scheduled programming, and I hope you have enjoyed our coverage, and we appreciate you just tuning in. And as we talk about the relevance of this day. Keep dreaming. Keep the dream alive.
Keep the dream alive.
Keep the hope alive.
Yes.
Keep everything alive. No.
Keep fighting.
But, but all kidding aside, just know that we're here and again, part of seeing the legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. live on, which, is all about doing for others, which is about service, which is about dreaming, which is about you can. And so for Daniel B., for Bree Scott, for Tony B. and the crew that's out there along the march, I'm Rick Dupree wrapping things up here at Garfield High School. And I will see you tonight back on the air at 6:30 right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Until then, peace and God bless.
Holla. Bye, guys.